In this tutorial, I'll be turning this scene from a blank canvas into a fully detailed lifelike environment using the new Scatter add-on from KIRI Engine. To get us started quickly, I won't be going over the full add-on use. I'll instead focus here on the click tool for adding details to a scene just by clicking where you want your assets to be placed. For other features, check out our other videos or the add-on documentation. The base scene and assets used in this video all come from the amazing source that is Polyhaven. I'll include a link to the scene in the video description, but you can use any scene and any models that you like. Alright, looking around the scene here, I can see I've got a bunch of surfaces. I've got some shelves, I've got some cabinets, of course I've got the floor, I've got a chair, I've got a bunch of places that would be nice to scatter some props. And the first thing we need to do to enable that is to create our scatter collection. So if I look under my main scene here, I can see I've made a handy little group of props that I want to scatter here, and another little group of more unique looking props that I want to scatter right here. I'm going to use all these paint cans and chemical bottles to start with. So I'm going to open the scatter add-on by pressing N on my keyboard, which will bring up the N panel. And I can find KIRI Scatter right here. And we're creating our input scatter collection. So I'm on the input tab, and I can see that I can choose from selected or from an asset pack. For now, we're looking at selected, and I can see that whichever objects I have selected will show up in this list here. And if I press the little link button next to the name, they're being added to the scatter collection. If I select them all and press link all to collection, we can see that they're now all in there, and we can see in the outliner a new collection, KIRI Scatter Collection, has been created. To make sure the process is as non-destructive as possible, I can see that my assets are still linked to their original collection, as well as being linked to the new Scatter Collection. At any time I can remove an asset from the Scatter Collection just by pressing unlink. Now that we have our Scatter Collection defined, let's hop on over to the scatter side of the add-on. I want to use the click feature, and I want to scatter randomly from the full collection. So I have collection enabled, and let's go look at one of the surfaces in our scene. Let's pick this cabinet right here. Now, when I press start click mode, and I start clicking in my scene, I can see that I'm interactively starting to place objects. They're all facing the same direction right now, which is looking a little bit stiff. So let me just delete these guys and enable random rotation and start clicking again. And when you start click mode, you'll see that you can no longer navigate in the viewport. So find a good view first, then start click mode and start clicking. I'm finding that I'm getting these taller bottles appearing a lot when I'm scattering, and I don't quite like that. So this is, if I check the name, all-purpose cleaner 2. This is plastic bottle gallon. I'm going to go back to my inputs, and I'm going to remove plastic bottle, and I'm going to remove all-purpose cleaner. And if I start clicking again, those guys shouldn't show up. And if I look through the camera and I'm careful, I can actually start dressing the whole scene from my camera view. We can see that this one ended up laying on its side, and that's because I have align to normals turned on, and I actually clicked the wall of this toolbox here. If I click the wall again, we can see that we're aligning the floor to any surfaces that we click, which is great for walls. After scattering some generic objects like these paint cans, I might want to scatter some unique props. So I'm going to look again at what I've got available. Right now, our scatter collection is filled with these. So I go to input and I'll unlink all. So my scatter collection is now empty. And I'll select these unique props and link all to collection. Now back in click mode, when I click, I'm now scattering those unique props. I quite like the look of this lamp over here, and I might want to scatter a few instances specifically of just this lamp. So I'll change the source from collection to object. And within my scatter collection, I can find, where is it? The lantern. And now if I start clicking, I'll only be scattering instances of that lantern. We have to be a bit careful because I can see here, I actually clicked one of these pieces of debris, and since align to normals was turned on, it ended up a bit wonky. Of course, you should think carefully when building your scenes about where to place assets, but just to show you how fast clicking can be, I'll see how quickly I can populate this scene. I'll start click mode and just see how fast I can fill up this scene. You may have noticed in this tutorial, we skipped over a lot of features like physics, and they'll have their own dedicated videos that you can check out in our KIRI Scatter playlist. If you need any help with the add-on, don't hesitate to send me a message on Discord, and if you need some free 3D scanned assets, or you want to create your own, check out the KIRI Engine app or website.